Hello and welcome to this episode of Leadership Unfiltered. This one, we're going to talk about networking, how important it is to network as a leader, some of the ways to do that successfully, and some of the pitfalls you can fall into when there are obstacles like yourself, like others, that may get in the way of networking how you'd like. I struggled with networking early in my career because I thought what networking was different than what it actually is. I thought networking was about going to parties and going to networking events and smiling at people when you don't feel like smiling and shaking hands with people you don't want to shake hands with and being inauthentic.
Yeah.
Which was really difficult for me, coupled with the fact that I'm an introvert, which surprises people. But I am an introvert. I give me a quiet spot and a good book, and I'm good. Being around people, while enjoyable, is draining for me. Networking, where I couldn't be my authentic self around people that I didn't know and around some of these people that I didn't like, was a non-starter for me for a very long time. Until I made a connection, and I don't know if some of this has to do with maturity, getting older, having more experience, but the lesson that I learned is networks are about connection. They're about relationships. They're about people. And while you can leverage a network for transactions, they're really good at that. That's not its purpose. Once I made that connection to say, oh, it's about building connections with people that I want to build connections with.
Yes.
Networking became very easy. Very, very easy. I began to appreciate the power of it. And I, for the longest time, significantly underestimated the power of networking and the power of having a network and being deliberate about how important your network is. And so that's what we're going to talk about today.
That's excellent. Such a key and timely topic. Most of the leaders that I'm coaching right now are talking about how they leverage their networks, how important it is to the success of their role and their career and getting to the next level. The world operates on networking.
Yes.
No matter what position you're in,
Yes.
no matter what role, no matter what you're trying to get accomplished, it all happens through networks. A lot of people think taking advantage of networking is bad or taboo. And when they see people that are successful at navigating their network, they think that's foul, that they are not playing, they're playing this game or not playing fairly. But that's the way this works. And you often hear people, business deals are done on the golf course. That's all networking. It's not about the game of golf that they love, although golf is fun to play. But that's a networking event. And they are connecting with people, and to your point, there's some transactions that happen as part of that networking, but they are getting things done through their network. So if you think network is a bad thing, you're missing the point, and you're missing out on possibilities and opportunities by not leveraging and building your network. It's work.
Yes.
Networks don't just happen.
Yes.
You have to work on your network. You have to work on building that network. You have to work on maintaining the network, because you mentioned networks are about relationships. And any relationship, call it a network or not, any relationship is work, and any relationship requires maintaining it. So that means it's not transactional. It is reaching out and making those connections when you don't actually want something.
Yes.
If you are in the network just to get something out of the network, you are in it for the wrong reasons, and people will sniff that out right away, and you will not be part of their network. right? You have to bring something to the relationship. You have to add some value. You have to provide something to the network in order for the network to reciprocate. If you are in it just to take, that is not really a network. I work with leaders on asking questions around what type of network they have. Some people, most leaders have what we would consider a closed network. That means it is their core group of people that they go to and talk to and work through all of the time. That is a closed network. They're not expanding it. They're not looking for their future network or what needs are part of their network. It's just a closed loop network. And they built that over time and they're just stuck. But a leader needs to really think about an open network, which means you have your core. That's always there. But you are now starting to think about, what does my future look like? And what network do I need to get to that future? Which means your network might need different influencers in it. It might need different skill sets, different capabilities, different roles that is not in your current closed network. And so now your question is, how do I start building those relationships to build out this open network that I can leverage at some point in the future? Again, it's not about a transaction, but as you're building those relationships, they are there when the transaction is needed and they don't feel like they're being used.
Yes.
Right? Because you've built this relationship, they trust you, you've added some value to them as well. And part of that network is connecting other people.
Yes.
So if you're in a network and all you're seeing is an outward view of the network, then you're not thinking of the network correctly. Part of the network is not only what you can get out of the network, but leveraging the network for other connections in the network.
Yes.
Right? So an example is someone recently came to me asking if, I could provide coaching service. It was really outside of what I was comfortable with in terms of my services as a coach. They were looking for more therapy, more psychology. And I'm not a psychologist or a therapist. That's part of my agreement, right? That is not coaching. And so I make sure my clients understand that I'm not a therapist or a psychiatrist or psychologist. If you need those things, I have those people in my network and I refer them. The beauty of the network is that those connections are already made. There's already trust built there. And so when I say I can refer you to someone else in my network, the person that I'm referring to trusts me as part of my network. And the person that I'm handing them off to trust as part of my relationship that I've already built with them in my network, that this handoff is a good handoff.
Yes.
So that is part of a good network and why it's important.
There's a couple of mental traps with the best intentions some people can fall into, and you hit on them. I don't want to bother them, so I don't want to reach out to folks in my network because I don't want to be a bother.
That's me.
Yeah. It's a mental trap because people like to be of service. They really do. They really like to help if they can. And the great thing about help is you never know how it's going to show up. And which is why having that network is so important. The flip side of that trap, I can't just call them out of the blue. I'm like, well, then it's a vicious cycle. Yeah. So if you're not going to call them out of the blue, but then you don't want to be a bother, then you're just taking yourself out of the network because you're not asking and you're not engaging. And so that's the thing about a network, which is so interesting that, they really do pair. There's a reason why computer networks are called networks.
Yes.
That concept existed long before computers came along, which is networks are about discovery. It's about finding out what's there because you don't know where those nodes are connected and how those other nodes are connected to other nodes. And it's really important that you engage in the network for those reasons to discover. Yeah. Because you really have no way of knowing how or what is connected to what and who can help you or who you can help
Yes.
if you aren't engaged.
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine say to me, "Oh, you're really good at networking." And it took me back because I don't see myself that way. And I said, I don't know if I'm good at networking, but I try really hard to maintain connections to people.
Yes.
Because that's what I value, is the connection. And I was having a conversation with another friend who was falling into that mental trap of, well, I can't just call him out of the blue. It's only out of the blue the first time.
Right.
And so after that, it's not out of the blue. And you'll know whether or not they want to connect with you. It won't be hard to deduce whether or not they are interested in reciprocating the connection. And if they are, odds are people do. It's great. And if it works, great, move forward. But it's only out of the blue the first time.
Yeah.
And so go forward. Go forward.
Yeah. That's good. I'm not a good networker at all. For one, I believe, root reason. And that is I don't like to ask people for things. I feel like I am bothering people, that I am calling them out of the blue. Even when that is not the case, I, talked to them, more recently. I just have a hard time asking people because it feels like a favor. I'm asking for a favor. Where I had to get out of my own head and out of my own way is, and you said it, people like to be of service.
Yes.
Particularly to somebody that they are in a relationship with.
Yes.
If you call them out of the blue and you don't have a relationship, that is the problem.
That's called a cold call.
Yes. Yes. Right. That is a cold call. You are in the network. There is no network there. But if you have a relationship, and it's funny, even when so I'm going to exchange the word networking for friendship. There are long-standing friends of mine that I don't talk to for long periods of time.
Yes.
Because I haven't talked to them does not mean we are no longer friends.
Yes.
Life gets in the way, things happen. But because we are friends, because we've built that connection, we trust each other, we know each other, they know I'm not just in it for the transactions and what I can get from them. My actual words to a few of my long-term friends, 30 plus years, is even when you haven't heard from me, I am here.
You're connected.
We are connected even when we don't talk.
Yes.
And when you call me, know that I am here.
Yep. Just because you aren't sending any data across the cable doesn't mean the cable's not there.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. And there's no different for a strong, viable network. It doesn't mean you have to talk to your network every day or schedule, okay, I need to call Philip every other Tuesday to make sure he stays in my network. That's not networking, right? Once you build a relationship and it's a true connection.
Yes.
That how you maintain that is really up to the two nodes, the two people, which may mean you not talk for a while, it may mean you see each other all the time.
All the time.
That's up to those individuals. But as long as the connection is there, it's always open. And again, those friends, let me not confuse that everybody in your network is not your friend. It doesn't need to be your friend.
Yes.
I was just drawing the comparisons between friendships and how you can lean on those friendships the same way you can lean on a network. But don't confuse that everybody in your network is your friend. But there's a relationship there.
Yes.
And so it's not, don't think of, I had to get out of my own head of thinking of it as a cold call, of asking for favors. I'm asking sometimes for help.
Yes.
A favor in this definition for me is the hookup. Right? I'm asking you to hook me up. That means I may not have the skills, I may not have the capacity, the capability, none of that, but I just need you to hook me up. Well, I mean, sometimes your network might be able to help you with that. I don't know. Asking your network for help is different than asking for the hookup.
Agree and disagree. I agree that they're different. Asking
Yes.
for help and asking for the hookup are different.
Yes.
I agree that those things are different. Where I disagree is I think it's completely appropriate to leverage your network however you want to leverage it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay.
That's where I just slightly disagree
Yeah,
with you.
that makes sense.
If you want to leverage your network to get a hookup, go forth and conquer.
If they can provide the hookup.
If you don't ask, you don't get.
That's right.
So I'm
true.
fully on board with that.
Yeah.
Now I understand from your perspective, while that doesn't sit well with you.
Yes.
But I think your network is yours,
Yes.
and you get to use it however you want. But a question for you: What is a way, or when was a time when your network and how it showed up for you completely surprised you?
Oh, I love this question because this is near and dear to my heart. My leader, we had a consultant come into our organization. I was in IT, but always had aspirations of coaching. And my leader knew that. Always, kind of pushed me towards my aspiration, right? Even though we had a great relationship, loved my position and work inside of IT, there was always this question of, when are you going to do what you really want? And I, went back and forth on that. And she asked me if I had reached out to this consultant who had come into our organization. And I said no. She reminded me that that person, that consultant, had become part of my network. She said, reach out, not to ask for a job, but to ask how to get your coaching business up and going. And so I did. I reached out to now a reminder that I had built this relationship with this consultant. And so I reached out, and I just wanted the exchange of information. And he was brilliant in sharing information with me on how his coaching business was going, and really just flipped my mindset on the things I was doing wrong in my approach to getting into coaching. And so I took his advice, and we worked. Leveraging that network, we actually formed a partnership. And that partnership led to, some coaching opportunities. And we get on a call, and he says, hey, I'm getting ready to jump on with another partner. Wanted to know if you had availability to jump on with us. And I said, sure. I jump on with this new partner. First time I ever met him. We're on for about an hour. We're done. Actually helped him with some testing and some thought leadership. And then months went by. Partner that he connected me to calls me back and offers me the opportunity of a lifetime to start doing executive coaching for a major firm. And that was all through my network that I had built this relationship. It had to be reminded. So remember, I'm not a good networker. Wanted to get into this space, but never leveraged my network to do so, or fully leveraged it. Was reminded that I had this connection, reached out to that connection. They wanted to help right away. I mean, immediately within a couple of conversations, totally changed my mindset. Then connected me to their network. That connection turned into an opportunity of a lifetime. So it was easy. It didn't take a lot of effort. It was all conversational. And it was really just telling my network what I wanted.
Yes.
It was that simple, just speaking out loud to the people I had already built a relationship with. This is what I want. And they said, that's all you had to say. Now that I know what you want, here's how I can help you.
I'm going to poke you a little bit, and I'm going to say, you got the hookup.
Yes. Even I even asked for the hookup.
Exactly.
I still got the hookup.
You got the hookup. And I that's the value of a network.
Yeah.
It's that discovery. It's being able to let it work for you. Because how many times has someone called you and they have not chatted with you for a while? You looked at the phone and was like, oh, why are they calling me? Doesn't happen. You're like,
Right.
This person is calling me who I haven't chatted with in a minute. It's going to be great to catch up. So it's just so weird to me that the person calling thinks that the person is going to behave somehow differently than they're going to behave.
Right.
It's like when someone calls me
Yeah.
and I haven't talked to them for a while, I get excited
Yes.
to catch up and to talk and to connect.
Yes.
And so this I don't want to be a bother mindset, it's a trap because they're really looking forward to hearing from you. Because we're human beings. We desire connection.
Yes.
It's part of our DNA to have, literally, to have connection with other human beings. And the key for me was I was the person who got to decide. I didn't have to put on a show. I didn't have to be inauthentic. I didn't have to shake hands with people I didn't want to have to shake hands with. I didn't have to spend time with people I didn't want to spend time with. And so I can go to a networking event where I couldn't before. Because, if I don't want to spend any time with you, I'm not.
Yeah.
And there are tons of people who I love spending time with. I met this wonderful woman at a Delta networking event. So Delta puts on these customer appreciation events for people who fly a lot, and I tend to fly a lot. And they host them, and they're at these great locations. And so you get to meet other people who fly a lot. So you actually have that one thing in common. Yes. And there were people there that I would say, "Oh, how you doing?" And I'd be like, "Oh, yeah, nope, I don't want to spend any more time with you." And that's okay.
Yes.
And there were people who probably met me who didn't want to spend any more time with me. Yes. No judgment. It's all good. Yes. But there were people where it clicks and it works, and you can spend the time with the people and network with the people who you want to have that connection with.
Yes.
And that is networking.
Yes.
And that was the thing that changed my mindset and my mentality to be able to do it as an introvert, to say, because I definitely do not want to spend any time with people I don't want to be around.
Yes.
That is so taxing on my nervous system. And so actually being around people who I would enjoy being around while still taxing, can be enjoyable. Yes. But if it's not enjoyable and it's taxing, I'm out. And then maintaining those connections. Some connections are meant to be maintained and some not. There are times when you have a Wi-Fi connection to someone and it gets severed. And that's okay.
Yes.
And there are times when you have a hard line fiber optic cable with someone and it gets severed. And that is also okay.
Yes.
And so you want to be able to enjoy the networks that you have and maintain and keep those connections with people where you are able to discover them and they are able to discover you. Yes. And you can be of service to each other.
Yes. And that's what makes LinkedIn a wonderful place, is because you can build these networks where you can connect, build these relationships. You get to put things out there like your post that share some of yourself, your things you're interested in, things you've accomplished, whatever those things are, to keep those networks maintained. That's the way you maintain them on LinkedIn. I don't want to confuse that with blind clicks, though. So there's times on LinkedIn where people will reach out for a connection. You don't know who this person is.
It's a cold call.
It is a cold call on LinkedIn.
Yes.
And I see these people with massive networks, massive connections on LinkedIn. I shouldn't even call them a network. They're a lot of connections. And I always wonder, do they actually maintain these? Because they're massive. And I'm not sure how you maintain. Maybe they are, and I just don't know how, because I'm just not a good networker. But I try to keep my connections on LinkedIn to the people that I really want to connect with, that I really try to maintain and build those relationships with. And if it's a new person that I don't know, I'm asking myself the question, is this a relationship that I want to maintain, that I want to get into? And if it's not, then I decline that connection. I'm just not on LinkedIn to build a bunch of connections for the number. I want them to be maintained in some type of way. Again, we talked about I don't have to necessarily talk to them.
Yep.
If I'm sharing stuff on LinkedIn, these are the people or the connections that I want to share that with and I want to hear back from. They have something that I want.
I agree with you in the vast majority of cases. because what you're describing, and I'm sorry, I'm going to put my architect hat on,
Yes.
which is you're describing a mesh network where the nodes are connected in different ways and you don't know how, and you're just part of the mesh. And you want to make sure that the nodes that you are connected to are not all the same level and strength, but they matter.
Yes.
There are other networks. There's hub and spoke networks where there's someone at the center and everyone kind of connects in. Those are called influencers, and it's a job. While I could never be an influencer because I'm not wired that way.
Yes.
I know several people in my network who are.
Yes.
And they have those connections, and watching them do what they do is phenomenally fascinating. I know I could never do it. I'm in awe of watching when your livelihood is your network. That's what basically an influencer is. It's basically like, the number of people in my network is how I make money.
Yes.
More power to you. I think that's great and fantastic.
Yes.
And the people who are wired to be able to do that, I watch them on social media do it. And I couldn't. But it also shows that, one, not all networks have to be the same.
Yes.
And two, they're all powerful. Just different.
Yeah.
Right? The power of a mesh network and the power of a hub and spoke network are just different. But equally powerful. So I agree with you.
That's good.
Vast majority, that corner case around influencers is where I would say, yeah, I get why they would try to amass a number of followers. Wow, where does the time go?
I know.
Buzzer went off and we're just getting warmed up. But we spent today talking about networking, how important it is. We talked about some of the traps that one you can mentally fall into that may keep you from networking the way you'd like to, and how to get out of those traps. And we talked about the power of them and the value of them, and that you should not be afraid to leverage them. Networking is really important to grow your influence as well as grow your career, because you never know where your next opportunity may be coming from. And if you are ambitious and looking to expand your leadership, having a healthy network is absolutely critical. So until next time, we'll see you then. Thanks for tuning in to Leadership Unfiltered. We hope you have found value in our conversation and are ready to take action in your leadership journey. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe, share, and leave us a review. And don't forget to connect with us on social media for more leadership insights and resources. Until next time, keep leading with purpose.